Hello, everyone. I am joined by John Hesp. Now, John, I have been looking for you for ages. When I can't find someone on Twitter, sometimes I just don't even know what to do with myself. Tell me a little bit about where you have been since the WSOP.
I've been trying to find you, Sarah.
Oh, I love him.
I was really upset that you didn't make contact with me. But
I tried desperately.
No, seriously. I've been back home in my small town in Bridlington, East Yorkshire. Reverted back to my small town life. Been pretty busy with the media, news media, TV and newspapers. And I think it's fair to say that probably my win on the fourth place in the World Series of Poker event this year has put me into a celebrity status, certainly locally in my area. And as a result of that, I'm regularly doing different interviews and things with newspapers and TV stations.
Well, tell me a little bit about what that's like, because I think for a lot of us, you know, the experience of this sort of immediate celebrity is not something we'll ever know.
Well, it's, again, these words I'm using are the same as I did in Las Vegas. It's surreal, unbelievable. What happened to me in Las Vegas is something that I think will never be replicated again, probably certainly not by me. And you know what I've achieved, I think I'd like to think, is probably injected some fun and brought a bit more interest into the game through showing that you can have good fun and play the game purely for recreation as opposed for just business. And I'll continue to play it recreationally, and tonight I'm here as part of Triple Eight's invitation. Thank you very much, Triple Eight, for the invitation. And I'm playing in the main event tomorrow, 1C, 3 p.m. Are you going to be playing with me?
I won't, but I will be there covering you 100%. Well, I think, you know, one of the things that was really interesting for us as sort of the poker media was to see that there was a lot of mainstream media which essentially found interest that doesn't normally in the WSOP main event, specifically because you were a recreational player, because you were someone who wasn't like a quote-unquote professional. And so, you know, I guess I was thinking, since you've been highlighted to the rest of the world, do you feel like you've been put in this position of being an ambassador for people who don't really understand poker?
Possibly, yes. I think a lot of the people that have sort of come on side supporting me, if you like, they have played poker at some point in the past and have given it up for reasons best known to themselves. But I've been encouraged and heartened by hundreds of people who are older people like myself who've tried to connect with me and said that I've reinvigorated their interest in the game after being so, what should we say, maybe bored with it over the years. And I'm told by a number of these people who've connected with me that they've really got back into it and they're enjoying it again, and much the same as what I do. And I think that's going to be a good news story, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, something, of course, I had some, Scott, I had Dan, I had some of the players on the podcast and also talked to them in interviews, and there was a general sense of just a sort of camaraderie and what I called magic that I hadn't seen at the WSOP main event in a long time. And I have to say that I think a lot of that was courtesy of you, and just your joy was sort of contagious. But as someone who was there, did you feel that this was a more, I don't know if loving is the right word, it was just a very friendly kind of final table? That's what it appeared like. Did it feel like that?
Absolutely, 100%. In fact, I was saying again to one or two of the guys earlier, I couldn't believe how all the rail of all the final table was supporting me when the guy wasn't in the hand. It was just unbelievable. And then when people were telling me afterwards that we're all rooting for you, I thought they were just saying it really to be, well-mannered. It turns out that they were telling the truth, and how's that work? I was just having fun, and I'm just pleased I could bring some light and fun to the game for lots of other people, and I hope I've done that.
Well, I know you have a business, you're a businessman, you've been running that for a long time, and that you would continue to. You told us at the end, you know, I'm going to continue to live my life. How has this affected your normal life and your normal business, and especially coming from a smaller town, how has this changed everything for you?
Well, it's changed things in as much as I still go into the office 4 days a week, Monday to Thursday, and now I would think something like 50% of my time is spent on my caravan business, and the other 50% of my time is spent on my poker and media and celebrity status, which seems to be continuing, or albeit slightly reduced from what it was in Las Vegas. But there's quite a lot of people have wanted a piece of me, and I'm sorry you didn't catch up with me earlier. But I mean, earlier this week I was speaking with Scott Brumstein on the phone, and I asked him if he was coming here, and he did actually say earlier that he'd love to come over to London, but he doesn't like flying that far. I don't know whether he's told you that, but I'm hoping to run into him in the States sometime.
I really loved him, obviously, too. I think he was really great. But I think, for you also, when we spoke at the end, it's still, I mean, for anyone who can put up $10,000, you're doing okay, everything's going okay, but did you do anything fancy with your extra side money, your side hustle? Did you take a vacation, buy the wife a present? Like, give me a little taste.
No. I said to my wife, and again I said it to you guys over in Vegas, I told her she could have anything she wanted. We'll take her on a holiday wherever she wanted. We ended up going to our caravan vacation home over in the Yorkshire Dales for a few days, and that was it. But I have actually treated the family and to some of the winnings, and I'm hoping I can bring a little bit of happiness to their life with that way. I've not even bought myself a new car. My car is just over 2 years old now, and my son says, why don't you go out and buy a new one? I say there's nothing wrong with the old one. So.
Like it's good. Let me put a few more years on this bad boy.
Yeah, I'm just, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I achieved something that probably some people would never do in a whole lifetime. I went out there to play in the World Series of Poker main event, as you know, I've told you many times before, at the bucket list wish, and my aim was to get in the top 1,000 in cash. I did that, and I won. And everything else was a bonus. So I won. And I'm richer without the money.
This guy, I'm just telling you, am I right? This guy. Well, it was so good to finally find you and catch up. I'd love to do more. I'm going to get his contact info. We'll get him on the podcast and stuff. But in the meantime, we will be following you, of course, in the main event, Day 1C. You guys can follow his action right here with us on PokerNews.com.
I look forward to that. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.